Hi y'all, so today we're going to talk about a workplace negative issue that everybody knows about but no one is doing anything about it. So back in my hometown, I was a server at a restaurant and there was a bunch of little sanitary issues, a bunch of little safety issues that everybody knew about, but nobody really did anything about it because everybody was in the mindset of, oh, we don't really care and we just want to go home, which is not the right mindset at all. So if you've ever worked in food service, you would know that an ice bucket is never allowed to touch the ground. So whenever you're scooping ice, you have a little holder that holds the bucket, and it basically is this high off the ground, and it has wheels, so it just basically keeps the bucket from touching the ground. Whenever you're done filling up the bucket with ice, you just hang it up on the wall, on the shelf, but regardless, the bucket is never supposed to touch the ground. However, at this restaurant that I worked at, the bucket was just always, stored on the ground. We never had a holder to hold the bucket. So it was just basically constantly on the ground, which is just a big sanitary, absolutely not. And then another big safety concern, or a big sanitary concern, was another thing that if you've ever worked in food service and you had to brew tea, you would have these tea urns. And the tea urns were usually maybe rinsed once a day at night, whenever you're closing. But again, you if you've ever worked in food service, you should know that the tea urns have to be washed thoroughly. At my current job at Chick-fil-A, we have to wash the tea urns at least twice a day. However, there, it was bare minimum required, to basically just rinse it out. And that's it. No soap, no nothing. Just rinse out the tea urn, put it back at the end of the night. And even then, most of the closers, they would not even do that. They would literally just dump out the tea, put it back, which is just absolutely disgusting and totally wrong. So basically, the supervisors did not take their job very serious as they should, and they basically just didn't really care about the restaurant like they should, and they just would basically sign off on people without even checking their work. They would just be quite lazy, honestly, when going around and checking and making sure that everything was up to up to par as it should be, and they just never really did. They would just sign everybody off so that they could go home early. So the negative consequences of not dealing with the problem is basically the restaurant I worked at, we were almost closed down. And I say almost because we had a set date for an inspector to come. However, we knew the day that the inspector was coming, so of course the day before, this is the day that all the managers wanted everybody to scrub the floors. Everybody needed to scrub the walls, clean everything up to par. And even then, after all of that, there was so much residue and everything on everything that we still almost failed the inspection. So that's honestly the big negative effect of it, and that is why you should take your job quite serious and make sure that you do everything up to the standard that it's supposed to be.